It was a terrible learning experience because we were there was like 7 of us there, and we had the paper ready to sign. It was a done deal. That job was like a heartbreak. We learned a very valuable lesson, and since then we've corrected it. And he was like, "I'm going to cruise. I'm taking a month off."
He done bought a truck. He bought a new house. That condition just got pulled from his fingers. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Roof Talk. Today we have we're bringing in one of our own
Special guest.
One of our own special guests here at Daniels Roofing. He's one of our leading sales reps in the space, and this is Mr. Christopher Huggins.
Yeah,
Mr. Christopher Huggins. Well, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you're just so busy.
Yeah, no, missing on sales.
Missing out on sales. But I'm happy that you're here, and you're obviously one of the first people we wanted to bring on.
Yeah.
Because you've been with us for a little while.
Yeah.
A couple years.
Yeah, it's going to be a special one. We're going to talk about what it really takes to dive into, being a top sales rep in our industry and in our company. So we're ready to get this one going. It'll be good.
Yeah. We're in a. I know we've talked about our roofing company a little bit, and we're in a crazy industry.
Absolutely.
What?
It's falling.
I thought you were doing 6-7 over there. Like, what is he doing?
It just kept falling.
Our camera guy is
I was watching
distracting
it. It was just slowly going down. I was like, oh.
He's over going like this. Like, what is he doing, dude? Now's not the time for memes. That's funny. But anyways, so let's just kind of take it from the top. We're going to do a little bit of backstory, and then we'll get into more sales-related stuff. So tell us, what were you doing? Because I actually don't think I know this. What were you doing before?
I think I do, maybe.
Before I hired you on here at Daniels Roofing.
Well, before Daniels Roofing, I had a bread route. I started a bread route.
Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah.
And I did that for a few years. But before that, I was mowing grass for Heartland Lawn Service.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was working for them guys for quite a few years. Get out of that, I bought a restaurant.
Yep.
Main Street Pizza there in Bernie. And I bought that right before COVID.
Oh, boy.
That's a tough time.
Yeah.
Very tough. Which we had a few good months, year. But all good things, I guess, come to an end. COVID set in, and then inflation hit. And so that's not the time to be in a restaurant. Not at all.
That was a hard time for, I think, a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
They were struggling through COVID.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So I feel for those people. Thankfully, we were kind of protected in the roofing space. But
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But that kicked in, and, sales then just took a nosedive.
Yeah.
I will say we hit some low spots financially.
Yeah.
We went from that. I was doing the bread route, doing the restaurant, and then I had a buddy that was into the guy I bought the restaurant from.
Mm-hmm.
He got into roofing. He goes, "Hey, you should come try this out." And he's still a sales rep today, James Rice.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I remember James, because I think James, because he was like our first rep. We call him the
Very
OG
first
rep.
one. Yeah.
So he was our first rep, and then I think he definitely introduced us to you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which we'll get into that, because you guys were like partnered at first, so we're gonna get into that a little bit later on. But
But anyways, we went from that, doing the roofing, got into the roofing, and talk about being at bottom. The restaurant was really, I was at bottom.
Yeah.
My banker would say, "Hey, Chris, payroll's not there this week. What do we do?"
oh no,
Yeah.
And I had a good banker. He was always, he always helped me out. I go, push it through. I'll figure it out next week. He'd push it through, and I got on with James. And honestly, James was the make it or break it.
Yeah.
Daniels Roofing was the make it or break it for me.
Yeah.
I came on board not really knowing anything about roofing.
Yeah.
Not a thing.
Sounds like me.
I'm like, what
On
am
shingles,
I doing?
anyway.
But, I had to do something. So I went from doing the restaurant, the bread route, to roofing. I did all three.
So you sold the restaurant, right?
I did. I sold the
You
restaurant.
sold it, and then the bread route.
I still got it. I got a
still
guy
got
that
that.
runs it.
Yeah.
So this goes to show, so Chris, prior to coming on with us, you were an entrepreneur already.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you were doing a 9 to 5 and you're, leaving that. Like you already have an idea
Absolutely.
how to run your time, how to, get sales.
Yeah.
Even though it was obviously not the best time to be in
Yeah. No.
restaurant sales.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause a lot of places closed during that
Yeah, they
period.
did.
I mean, a lot of
places
companies,
did.
the big ones obviously made it, you know, because they probably had enough bankroll, but
Right.
a lot of the smaller companies, I think they
A
kind
lot of
of,
the mom and pop shops,
Yeah.
they definitely
yeah,
shut down.
that's rough. That's
Yeah,
rough.
no, we sold, and I went kind of full time into roofing, and it's kind of been history from there.
Yeah. They kind of answered that one. So.
Yeah.
But
So you first got into roofing. So obviously, your buddy James, who worked for us, he was our first rep. So he kind of told you about it. What was like the inspiration where you're like, yeah, I want, like, what made you think like, yeah, I could go do that? You're just winging it, or
I was just going.
you're like, hey, I believe
you
in
know?
what they're doing, and I want to hop on board, or
I've seen a few roofs that they had put on. You know, Daniel's Roofing had been doing, and James told me a little bit about it. He goes, "Yeah, we can make good money if you know."
yeah,
And well, we'll see. I'm from the Show Me State, so we gotta find out.
yeah.
yeah. Well, a lot of people in sales will talk about all the money they make, and
Yeah.
sometimes they don't ever prove it. Sometimes, and I'm sure James
Exactly.
probably maybe showed you a couple of his paychecks or something.
Yeah,
but,
he showed me a few, but
yeah.
Yeah.
But even then, it's easy to be skeptical of like what's
absolutely.
possible. So you got in.
Well,
What
I
was
mean-
that first week like? So you came in and you're like, you know, I'm doing this. So what was that first week like? What was going through your head? Now, obviously, you're at a make it or break it point, so that's pretty. You know, it's a lot of pressure. I
yeah,
think.
absolutely. First week was, you know, I don't think I got any sales the first week.
Mhm.
I was just getting a bunch of leads,
Right.
and I started on the first of the year, so I mean it was kind of slow.
Oh man, it's a
Yeah,
slow time
Fixing
of
to
year.
pick up.
That's a hard time.
I couldn't remember what time of year you started.
I think it was February,
Yeah,
late February.
which that's good because our busy season comes
was
in
right there.
March, so you get
Yeah.
some training in, and then
But yeah, it was kind of slow starting out, but you know, I was seeing what James was making still.
mhm.
Man, I can get some of that. I'll make it. But yeah, eventually I got a roof sale and got my commission off that, and I'm like, man, I can do this.
Helps gain a little confidence too.
I can
Yeah.
do this.
yeah.
What would you say were some of the first challenges you ran into when you started?
I think one-on-one with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of a
Like door
You know,
knocking one-on-one, or just being, even if it was a
just
hot
even
lead.
confronting
Yeah.
the
Just
customer
walking
that-
up saying,
yeah,
hey, I'm with
just-
Daniel's Roofing and
Yeah, I guess
I'm here to do your roof quote, you know.
I don't know what I'm talking about. You know,
Yeah.
they point out roof issues. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, you started back before we had a training program. Now we actually
Yeah.
have like a structured
Yeah.
training
So-
program we try to go through.
Yeah, so for the people, you know, listening to this, I think it's important to know, like, you know, I bought into the company like not long before or before you actually started.
Yeah.
So when I first got in, we didn't have, you know, for our reps, there was no training really.
Yeah.
We didn't have any like systems and processes to follow. So you were like really on the ground floor of
Yeah,
our
I was
company
winging it.
starting, and you've seen the growth happen over the
Yeah,
years. I know you have, and you know, we didn't have, and you know, our early reps. I'm glad you guys stuck it out, and I apologize that we weren't, because we weren't necessarily on our game then. You know, we were doing some good business.
I think we were just trying to all figure it out at that point.
Yeah, we were doing some good
Yeah,
business,
for
but
sure.
we didn't have the proper structure in place yet.
Right.
So those early days, I'm sure for you were probably a little challenging. And I was spread so thin. I was doing sales, production.
Yeah,
I was
I
doing all of
remember.
it. And so I would be on the phone with you guys. I remember
Late
being on the phone with
nights.
James and them. I mean, it'd be 10 p.m. I was on the phone with James a couple times at midnight,
Wow.
or Daniel, and we were just talking. You know, we would go over the jobs because I would run the crew all day, and then you guys would be my afternoon stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We'd be talking about your jobs and all that kind of stuff. I can see the guys doing 6, 7 over there. So you were kind of on the ground floor, so I'm sure that those early days were probably a little harder for you than it is for some of our newer reps. And I don't even remember, were we paying like, did I give you like a salary or anything when you started out?
Not a thing.
So it was just like, you got to eat what you kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, our guys
absolutely.
now are
no
baby.
gas
They
card,
get
no nothing.
I give them 2 months of training, a couple
You pay 'em for
months
2
of
months, yeah.
you know, salary and stuff. And
Yeah, but you were good. You're a quick learner.
so at what point? So you started out, and obviously you found some success.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know that, and I always tell, you know, when the new guys come on, we always tell them, you know, it takes time to build that pipeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, now you'll sell jobs now from, you know, you might get a sell now from a year ago.
Yeah.
So it takes some time to really.
It does. Yeah.
Because I'll see even now when you have your slow weeks, you're still getting good paychecks. Like even if you didn't get a whole lot of sales that week, you know, you're still getting jobs installed because you built a pipeline.
Well, it's, for example, not to go off topic, but when James was in the hospital this year, he was still getting a paycheck.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and he wasn't working for a couple months because of medical stuff, but he still got a paycheck. So it goes back to that pipeline.
Makes a difference.
Yeah.
So at what point did you decide, you know, you got started, everything's going, you know, obviously you started finding some success. What point did you like think, hey, I'm the man around here?
Well,
I'm the man around here.
I don't necessarily think. I mean, I don't think I thought that, but you know, I guess my thing was like, I'd get one. I'm like, well, I'm gonna go to the next one, see what the next one, see who else I
Yeah.
can help.
Yeah.
Not necessarily not about the money, but I then realized, you know, by selling them a roof, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of people they had a bad roof leaks or,
Oh yeah.
you know, something that they looked forward to or saved up for quite some time to get that problem fixed.
Mhm.
And once I started seeing that, you know, then it just kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah,
You know,
I think in
helping-
sales, as long as you're, I seen I follow a lot of these roofing people on TikTok and stuff, and there's one guy that he said a phrase the other day. It was "moth hoff," and at first you're like, "What in the world?" Well, then he goes into it and he's like, "Because this is how he approaches sales too." So the moth hoff stands for "make a friend, help a
Absolutely.
friend."
Absolutely.
So that's what we actually. So now part of our systems and processes, we're kind of trying to teach that.
Trying
We're
to
like,
build
hey,
relationships. Yeah.
Yeah.
we're not here for high pressure sales.
Absolutely.
We're here to make a friend because these are our people, these are our neighbors,
Yeah.
and we want to help them. I mean,
Absolutely.
and so anytime we get to talking about the money and stuff, it's like, well, hey, I'm a homeowner, I have family, we're here to help.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like if you establish that relationship first, they're going to refer you to somebody in their family or a friend that they know, and get to
had
know
that
you on a
several-
personal level rather than just. I don't believe in pushy sales. I'm
Absolutely.
not a
That's what I
pushy
was
salesman
saying.
ever, never have been, and I've always been good at sales because I think just being genuine and true and
Absolutely.
nice to people
Yeah.
and explaining in detail what they're getting, that's more than probably 90% of reps do. They're probably just trying to get the money
Absolutely.
instead of providing value.
And the thing is, people are they pick up on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, as a
yeah.
human, like we can pick up on that pretty easily if someone's just trying to take our money or if they're genuinely there to help us.
It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy when you work with the public long enough.
Yeah.
You can learn to read people so quick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you just get almost like a gut feeling, like, nah, I'm good. I don't need this one,
Yeah.
And and thankfully in the line of field, or, line of work we're in, we can probably choose whose roof we want to do based off of the interaction.
We've had
So
some biggie ones, that's for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Chris, that sets you apart? From our other sales reps or from our like an average sales rep in the industry?
Well,
What?
you
In
kinda-
any industry, really.
Yeah.
You kind of said it there. It's just, be yourself.
Yeah.
You get there to the job. You don't necessarily just want to talk straight about the roof.
No. Yeah.
You don't want to just make a beatline just straight for that.
We're giving away company secrets here. How we get sales now. That's something that we teach too. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So how do you do that?
Slap for
Let's say you go to the door. How do you approach it when you get there?
Well, I'll just tell them. Obviously, they're expecting us.
Yeah.
I tell them I'm Chris with Daniel's Roofing. A lot of times I'm here to check out your roof, but 9 times out of 10 I'll catch their attention to something else.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a boat in the yard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Hey,
talk
love
about
your boat.
fishing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll talk about fishing, hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that more than we will the roof.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the main thing is just build up their confidence in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just let them know you're just a normal guy out
Yeah.
just trying to help them.
And I think I think just being like that is great. But I think our estimates are a lot more detailed than probably
Yeah,
other companies, and then our inspections on how we do them. And I don't want to give away all of our secrets, but I think there's some things we do different than other companies as far as how in depth we go, and we should.
Yeah.
I think everybody should go. So if they're not
Yeah,
doing
and
that,
I think it's important for because I see a lot of salespeople out there, and our company's maybe a little different, and we're getting more into, obviously we're getting more into canvassing and door knocking and stuff, but I think there's something important, around what Chris said, talking more. Like obviously you want to focus on the problem at hand,
absolutely.
like you got to get to that.
Yeah.
But I think the key is not to jump straight into that.
Yeah.
Now you really need to build rapport because at the end of the day, who do you think they're buying from? Are they buying because of Daniel's Roofing, or are they buying?
They're buying
like-
from the rep.
Like, do you believe the rep can make or break it
Oh,
at the door?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I believe that too. I feel like we have a good reputation as a company.
Mhm.
We help a lot of people, but at the end of the day, the rep or the customers are buying from you.
Mhm.
So when you're there, it's kind of all on your shoulders.
Yeah.
What's so weird though is like you see these online platform guys that sell coaching programs and all this stuff, and they're so aggressive. And it's like, how does that work? Maybe it's just where we're at.
When people like that to me, I'm like,
maybe it's
"Whoa."
our,
Yeah.
You get defensive.
we're
Yeah,
from
absolutely.
the southern Missouri, and people are more laid back and easy going. But maybe that works in the city people. I don't know. But here, I think somebody look at you like you're nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, our goal is to make a friend, help a friend.
Yeah.
So I think it's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. So if you could go back, So you've been here. How long have you been here now?
Longer than me.
Almost 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years.
Almost 3 years.
Yeah, and you've had some pretty good success. So if you could go back to look at yourself like that first month, what kind of advice would you give yourself?
Honestly, I went in, needing money.
Yeah.
That was my thing. I would just, I guess, tell myself just to be yourself.
Yeah.
Just try not to be too
Mhm.
pushy.
Right.
And James taught me a lot of that too.
Yeah.
because he's not the type. He don't like the pushy type.
No.
Yeah.
No. I don't think any of our reps are pushy,
No,
honestly.
they're not.
And we try to not train them that way.
Yeah.
Like just listen to what the customer has,
Mhm.
and then address what we can help them with based off their needs. I mean,
Right.
like,
And one of my big things, I think that when I first started, that I was real quick to, and I don't know if are they going to be able to do a new roof?
Yeah.
And I think my thing was, don't judge a book by its cover.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was my biggest
Yeah,
thing.
for sure.
But, you just get to know people. Be yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
What do you think's like the one thing that you in sales, like that you had to unlearn about sales? Maybe something that was holding you back. Like you were trying it and it wasn't working, so you had to unlearn it and quit doing it. Is there something that, so when I first started sales, there was a thing called selling out of your pocket, which means you let your feelings get in the way too much
Mhm.
instead of letting the judgment of the homeowner or the customer make the decision based off what you're providing them in value. So I was thinking, well, price, man, how are they going to afford this roof? It's $20,000, and I always let that get in my way. But what is something that like stopped you or
That was one of
stumped
my
you?
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is, the price of, a new roof is,
It's not cheap.
it's not cheap. Just things that, like inflation, things are, as we go, things are getting more expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was it. Just not to worry about none of that.
Yeah.
Not to worry about.
That's a hard part to do because not judging a book by its cover, but then maybe you've had a conversation with the homeowner and they say, well, our credit score is this is what we have. Thankfully now we have options that we can help
Yeah.
homeowners. Thankfully, that's part of growing our business. We've dug into some other avenues where we're allowed where we can help people, but I think that's a hard one from probably most reps.
Yeah.
As individuals, not business to business,
Yeah.
because that's more like commercialized. But I think people, like from me to you,
Yeah.
it's different.
And that's the thing. When someone has a need, they got to use somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we're there for, is to try to help.
Yeah.
Provide it.
That's the beauty about I think the service, like the industry that we're in, because there are sales reps. And honestly, before I was like even in the roofing space, I didn't realize how many sales positions there were for different types of jobs.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Like you have like pest control sales reps, you got
Oh, yeah.
people that go door to door for like security systems, you got people that go door to door for house washing, you got people that go door to door for all these different services, like
Yeah.
crazy service, and I didn't even know all that existed.
Yeah.
But so it's the industry and some of that stuff. Like you could say that, hey, you need a security system,
Yeah.
but you got to kind of sell somebody on that.
Yeah.
Like a roof, people
That's
like
something everybody
like you
needs.
pretty much everybody has to have a
Yeah.
solid. You need a solid roof over your head.
Absolutely.
So it makes it, I think it almost a little easy on us.
Yeah.
Just because,
It's a necessity.
yeah, it's something people got to
Well,
have.
it's just like
But then we have the
HVAC and
barriers to
plumbing.
overcome, price, those different things that we have to, work around those. But we're providing a service that everybody needs.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely helps the sales process a little bit.
I agree, and I think for the people who are watching, or we talk a lot about being entrepreneurs and stuff. But if you're thinking about opening a business, HVAC, plumbing, things that people are going to need every single day,
Absolutely.
electrician. I think the trades are the way to go for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, especially being an entrepreneur. I mean, I'm not saying there's not other things, but I think there's a high demand for it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And there's always going to be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So we got kind of the backstory. So for this next kind of little section here, we're just gonna spitfire some questions. They're not necessarily controversial or anything, but we're just gonna talk about sales and just different things surrounding that. So we're just gonna kind of spitfire and just kind of wing it here and see what your honest, off the cuff answers are here. So my first question I got: Do roofing sales reps make too much money?
Too much money. No, I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into it behind the scenes that
Yeah.
a lot of people don't see.
Yeah, because
So-
the customers, because sometimes if you get into commissions, and sometimes we'll be honest,
Yeah.
I've been very honest with customers about, hey, here's what I got to pay my people. and
literally
different
down
things.
to the dollar.
Yeah, I've told them sometimes. And sometimes, because how many times have you heard, oh, you guys are driving around in those nice trucks? Chris has like 7 vehicles. You tell him you're not making too much money. You got every time he pulls up to the office, he's in a different truck.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't think people see the back end of it either on how much overhead and work that goes into it. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's I wish people could see all the moving parts. It's insane.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
it's
and
a
the
lot.
volume, I think that you have to do.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you make multiple trips to that customer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, between start
gas.
to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're married to him for at least the next 5, honestly, forever.
Yeah.
Until the roof fails.
Yeah.
But we have our workmanship warranty and stuff, so we're kind of married to him for a while.
Yeah.
So you get paid now, but you might have to go back and do more work. Multiple times for that client, and that's the commitment that we make to all of our clients. So I think that's super, super important.
So
But there are reps out there. To further go into that question, there are reps out there in the roofing space making $250,000
Yeah.
plus a year.
So I don't think we make too much money. I mean, if you want to up the commissions,
Hey, I will say this though, our market is very different than other markets where that is happening. But at the same time, people go into sales to make money.
Yeah.
If you're in sales for anything else other than, trying to provide for your family and offer services to people that you believe in, you're probably in it for the wrong reasons, But so question 2, is roofing sales more about skill or hard work or hustle? I would say, well, I'll let you answer
let him
that.
go.
Yeah.
Let him cook.
If you're in sales, you got to know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You got to know a little bit about the roof.
Right.
I kind of got in, and I was, like I said, I
Learned on the
learned
fly.
as I went. I will say I sell more roofs now than I did then, only because I know more.
Confidence.
And so
I think it's both.
I think so.
I think you need to know what you're selling like the back of your hand, and then I think you also have to go get it.
Yeah, you gotta want it.
You gotta want to go make the sale because somebody can give you the lead, and if you just don't go to it and especially in our industry, if you don't go to it for a couple days, somebody else has probably already been there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's our industry's cutthroat.
Yeah.
And I believe that. I don't think hustle is everything.
Yeah.
You can get on a treadmill and run in place and never go anywhere.
Yeah.
You can run your butt off and never get anywhere.
Yeah.
So I think it takes some skill, and it does. I think you have to have a marriage of both.
Yeah.
Like you have all the skill, but you don't do anything, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
If you just hustle, you're not intentional behind it.
Yeah.
And you don't have the knowledge base, and you don't believe in what you're selling. Like you can hustle and run circles and
Absolutely.
you'll never get anywhere.
Yeah.
So I think that's a little bit of both, I believe, in the industry. But okay, so let's get down to homeowners a little bit. Do you think homeowners, when we're going there, do they trust roofing salesmen, or do they see us like a car salesman or anybody else that's trying to just like push the service on them? Let's talk about. So some people call us, right?
Right.
So we have some clients that call us, so they're expecting us. Let's talk about the people that aren't expecting us. The people that you're going and you're hitting the neighbor. And you're saying, "Hey, I want to help you." Do you think those people? Do you think they trust you when you hit that door, or
Right off, no, they don't.
Yeah.
They think we're just another salesperson.
yeah?
A lot of times when I do that, it's like when a storm comes through.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't recognize the damage that storm had done.
Yeah.
To their roof, and so
Well, people aren't climbing on the roofs.
no, absolutely. And I've had several sales that way. Just cold calling and just what are you doing here?
Yeah.
I just introduced myself. We've done a lot of roofs in the area.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you
we
got to
need to be aware.
provide value, show evidence.
Yeah.
I think videos of you on the roof and showing, hey, because like you said, most people don't get on the roof. So if you take a video while you're up there, showing them the damage.
First, you gotta get permission. to
Yeah,
get
I
on the
mean,
roof.
yeah, but
You tell me you don't
I'm
climb on
just-
the roof without permission?
I'm just saying, like, I think that helps, sell yourself and being you. But
Absolutely.
what do you think is the hardest part of roofing sales that most people don't talk about?
The hardest part.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it just easy peasy?
Well, it's not easy peasy. I guess the hardest part is, you can be yourself and talk to everybody, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it does boil down to the dollar.
Yeah.
You can still be
Competitive.
nice.
Yeah.
And the hardest part is being competitive.
Yep.
And trying to keep our margins at a good rate.
I want to ask you that too. What do you think it is? I've got my own opinion on it, but what do you think it is?
I think it's all. I mean, there's the hardest part that no one talks about. I feel like a lot of the stuff people know already. Kind of like what's hard about sales in general.
Yeah.
You're selling people. You're selling emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You're selling based on price, depending on. Chris has it. I think a little harder. It depends on the region you're in.
Yeah.
I think down
Big
in
difference.
well, then you have competition too. So there's a lot of stuff that makes sales difficult. I mean, you got the financial side of it. which is a big deal. And we're fighting every single day with margins. We're
Absolutely.
fighting with our competition. You have pop-up companies all over the place. I think in our industry, though, the hardest sale we get, the hardest thing we have to deal with really is probably insurance. Because the insurance companies are
Yeah,
what?
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, the insurance companies are telling the client, hey, go get 3 or 4 bids.
Yeah.
And we're going to have some insurance people on here. But the thing is, we always tell the client, and you know, why does the insurance tell you to get 3 bids?
Yeah.
Is it to protect you as the homeowner, you think? Or is it to get the cheapest bid for the insurance?
That's what it is.
Yeah, so that's what we believe.
And at the end
And
of
you
the
know,
day, though-
honestly, I want to bring in some insurance people on to hear their side because that's how we see it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But that's one of our biggest challenges. It's not fighting, but dealing with insurance
Yeah.
processes and
That's a big deal.
going with our client and trying to get them to everything covered. And you know, it's a challenge.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, though, the homeowner gets to choose who they want to use.
Yeah.
So,
Some homeowner.
you know.
So who do they lean on? So homeowners aren't the experts. So when they go and they start talking to the experts, well, they lean on their insurance company because they're supposed to be the experts, right?
Right.
When they don't really know anything about roofing, but
No.
if they're telling them to get 3 estimates, the homeowner's like, well, you know, that's probably what I should do. But they don't know the psychology behind all of it, and it really has nothing to do with getting the best roof or the best coverage. It's
the cheapest bid.
financially motivated.
How much money does the insurance company have to come out of pocket? The least as possible is what it is.
Absolutely.
You know. So yeah, that's why.
So roofing sales, do you think that? So you've crossed. We'll talk numbers a little bit. You've crossed, and I'm talking like earned income. You've crossed over 6 figures here, right?
Several years.
Yes, sir.
You do that your first year, or
I don't think it was my first year.
but you started kind of
started-
a little late,
yeah.
didn't you?
Yeah.
So your second year at the company,
For sure did.
you pulled over
Yeah.
6 figures, right?
I did.
And then this year you've already crossed that.
You already
right?
beat where you were last year.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm past that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
How mu-
I
how
keep a
much
close
the
eye on
cent?
it.
How much the cent? So would you say that anybody in the roofing space can make 6 figures? Or is that like some, because you see people, I don't know how much you're on social media, but I see these sales reps all the time, like, and I see some crazy numbers. People are like, oh, I made 100,000 this month. And, you know, people go crazy with it. Do you think that if you think that's realistic? Like anybody can go out and make 100,000 a year in sales, roofing sales?
If it was not anybody, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't think it's for everybody. A lot of people just don't got. They just don't got
The drive.
the drive,
Mm-mm.
even the personality.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
connects with a lot of people.
I think that's where culture comes into play.
Yeah.
We got great culture here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I follow. I have a couple, you know, buddies that work for other companies in different markets.
Yeah.
And you know, some of those guys, I got a buddy making 250, 300 as a sales rep in roofing sales.
Wow.
Now, granted, they're selling quite a few millions of dollars a year, and they're in
Yep.
markets that were hit heavily by storms.
Well, and
You
there's
start getting into commercial.
I start to say
areas,
commercial
that's-
versus
that's
residential is a
that's
big difference too.
Yeah.
I mean, the big risk, big reward.
Yeah.
But that risk side, we better hope it goes smooth.
Yeah, I think roofing sales, there's a lot of potential.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
there is. It's the sky is honestly the limit.
You know what's crazy is I didn't realize it until I got into this industry. I was in, I worked at Reed's Metals or Fortify before, and I made good money there. I thought, as sales, I was like, man, I can sell this big red iron building that's $500,000. I'm making good commission off of it. And then I got here, and I was like, it's volume.
Yeah.
But because it's not a $500,000 roof. It's a $15,000 roof,
all
$12,000.
add up, though.
But if you sell 6, 7 in a week, and eventually when those get installed, and you're like, wow, this is okay.
You've had some
Yeah.
weeks like that, right?
Yeah.
I've had a
What
few.
What would you say is your and that might be a question I'm ruining for later, but what would you say is your highest? How many roofs have you sold in 1 week?
There's a few.
It was quite a few. I don't remember right off.
Yeah,
I mean,
are you selling like
it
five
was.
or
I think
six,
I
or-
would say it was just a few months ago when you and Israel were back and forth, and Isaac too. What'd you guys sell? You did like 6 in a week.
It was like 12.
12. Yeah. Well, I thought between you and Israel,
That's
you and Isaac
crazy.
though, or individually. Yeah, 12 in a week. That's
And to sell those
that's a
kind of
lot.
that volume of roofs, I mean, you're running. I mean, that's
That was
you're-
right after
you're
the
getting-
storm. So we
Yeah.
had a big tornado come
Yeah.
through, and that's when that was. But
What would you say your highest? What's your highest grossing week? Like on on gross sales.
yeah,
I mean, we want to know because
on sales.
so
like the total
all-
week was.
what I'll say for the viewers at home, our reps have been going back and forth on who has the biggest week.
Yeah.
And these are
I wish I'd have brought the Excel sheet in here with
I
me.
think last
it's hard it's hard to brag about the money because we try to be humble and you want to be all of those things.
But you work hard for it.
But you do work hard, and these are like real goals that we set, and like these are,
Oh.
you work your butt off, and then when you get these big deals,
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Well, it
you know,
might.
it's awesome.
It's rewarding.
Well, and for listeners, they might be like, well, hey, maybe I want to try roofing sales. And I know from real life that people actually make that money, because
Yeah.
we're local people. We're not we're yeah. We're not
Our
we're
reps
not
say stay away.
like crazy like online just gurus. Like
We got
we're,
plenty of sales.
we actually
guys.
do the stuff. But
Yeah.
I think you've sold.
Well, Grant should know as a sales
I
manager.
think
I wish I
a couple
had
weeks
the-
ago, I think it was like 300,000.
Yeah.
In
So
1 week?
Israel, Isaac, and you have both been over the $300,000 mark. I almost want to think that you hit almost 400 last week. 400,000 in a week, which is crazy.
He's looking off camera. That's
Yeah.
that's Israel over
Yeah.
there. He's
So
one of our
we
other
got
reps.
we got 2 sales reps in here. One runs the computer, one Chris. But yeah, I
Pan over.
mean, I can tell you this. We've had some crazy high weeks. I mean, yeah. I mean, our company. I think it's just the way we do things. It's we're growing like crazy.
Yeah,
Which is
it's-
good.
Yeah, we're getting more into commercial jobs, and
Yeah.
I think you've done a lot of like churches and bigger.
Yeah.
You have connections there, and you get into some bigger buildings.
For some reason, churches are your go-to thing.
I'll tell you what. So, what's a job we had with you? So I know because you were one of our early reps, so you've kind of hit these benchmarks kind of first almost.
Yeah.
You had one where like, 20,000 is my biggest job, and then it's like, oh, now here's a $50,000 job, and then you get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I remember when we had was it last year or the year before? The
Sykeston
on Nash
one?
Road. On Nash Road.
No, yeah,
Oh,
that was-
yeah. That was
So
on
that
Nash Road.
was I remember that job. What? So we had a big
That's
metal,
$250,000?
a big commercial job.
Was it $250,000?
Was it?
I thought.
That was pretty big.
Or was it more than that?
I think it was more than that. I think it was
3? It was a lot.
Yeah,
Well, your
10,000.
your
at the time that was
your
we're
commission
gonna
would
be-
have been what? I remember that number.
was a
Do
big-
you remember that number? It was
What's the
20
commission on a job like
It was
that?
25,000.
Yeah, so that's a big commission.
Yeah, it was big.
So that's not let's talk about that job a little bit. So we're talking about losses, right? Because not all
that was-
sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, that was definitely
Yeah.
a big one.
So that was the biggest job to date for any of us, for the company and for you as a rep.
Yeah.
So what was that like? Obviously you put some time into that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And we all did. I mean, we visited multiple times.
And our suppliers.
So we're talking like
know?
big numbers. You've had like a $300,000 week. You had some big crazy weeks, some big commission checks. I know. I see your payroll, so you've had some good weeks.
We actually just hit send without showing him.
But as a rep, what does that feel like when you put all that time in? You have a $25,000 commission on the line, and we lose it. How does that feel? What does that do to you as a rep?
It just lets the air out.
Oh,
it
it's
does. It just
yeah.
it takes a minute to recoup. It takes
Yeah.
to get your confidence back because you think you've got it in the bag.
Oh, we took that
we-
thing to the
we-
finish.
We went
Yeah.
to the signing table.
Yeah, we did.
And then
Yeah.
they had one question. And now we learned. And it really wasn't anything you did, was it? I mean, it was just something we didn't even think
no.
about.
They
It was
like-
something
they like
that
me.
it was something we were like,
Yeah.
well, why would we need that?
Yeah.
Like
just one of
that's
those things
that's
you
not
don't
even
think
an
about.
issue. So why would we need? But when you start getting into commercial, there's
Absolutely.
things that have to be in place in order for the things to happen. That's why I'm saying it's like, it's now we know we've corrected it. We learned.
Yeah.
We didn't fail. We learned.
Yeah.
It sucked.
Yeah.
It was a terrible learning experience because
Yeah.
we were at. I mean, there was like 7 of us there, and we had the paper ready to sign.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a done deal. Check.
You get a
everything.
you get
It was like, dang, this sucks.
yeah. And there's a lot of planning. You get a a $300
How
plus
many times did you go
$1,000.
back to that job?
Quite a few.
I mean,
a
how
lot.
many? What, 4 or 5?
Yeah,
We met
at
with them at
least.
least 4 times because our metal supplier came
Oh,
twice.
we brought in all the guys
Our metal
for that
supplier
one.
came twice. First, it was just her, and then it was Nick and Mikkel, and then it was all of us.
all went
I mean, it
sick.
was. I mean that job was like a heartbreak, but
Yeah.
we learned a very valuable lesson,
Yeah.
and since then we've corrected it, and
Yeah, Chris had a whole vacation
I'm
plan.
telling you.
he was like, "I'm going to the
it.
cruise. I'm taking a
Another
month
truck
off."
ball.
He done bought a truck. He bought a new house. That commission just got pulled from his fingers. That's funny.
Chris, what do you think separates the 1% of reps from the rest? If you were in the top 1% of reps,
Or what advice would you give to other people
yeah,
to level themselves up?
Be yourself.
Yeah.
Just be yourself.
I would say knowledge is power.
Yeah.
The
I
more
mean,
you
it
can
makes
learn
it-
about something,
I was- if
makes
you
it
can-
so much easier. That's
I
why
did. I watched a lot of
you know.
YouTube videos on roofing at Adam Bensman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watched a lot of him.
Yeah, we do the full Bensman training now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to Adam Bensman.
I'm gonna back up a second. I said knowledge is power. You would think that if you had a roofer that installs it
Would know.
would know, but sometimes, like you said, it has to be the personality because
Yeah.
they may have all the knowledge, but they can't get it out of their mouth.
Yeah.
They're like,
And eye contact.
yeah,
Eye contact.
and it's just like, Okay. So
Yeah.
I think knowledge is power, but you also have to have the personality to sell. Yeah.
Yeah, I think personality. I mean, you have to be knowledgeable. Obviously, that's why we
Yeah.
do these trainings. That's why we do, all this stuff to further our education in the roofing space. But at the end of the day, if you're not personable,
Yeah.
no one's gonna
Yeah.
buy from you.
Yeah.
I mean, have you experienced that? I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely. Well, I've took a few jobs from a few other companies that was cheaper than us
Yeah.
mhm.
because they liked who I was. They liked
That's
the way I came
Yeah.
across.
So
Yep.
you've talked about price a couple times, right?
Yeah.
You said price is a big issue. Well, you're saying here
Yeah.
that maybe it's not
It's not always
always.
the issue.
yeah.
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 So, and I agree. I don't think it's always because as a company, even as a consumer, if someone comes into the cheapest, I'm always a little, especially now that I own a business,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, if you're the cheapest person out of all these bids, what are you not doing that
Yeah.
you should be doing?
Are you missing something?
Why?
Yeah, like, do you not have the right insurance? Are
I
you
had a-
telling me?
I had a customer call me actually just a few weeks ago, tell me she went with the cheapest
Yeah,
and it was done wrong, and now she wants us to come back and fix it.
yeah.
Unfortunately, it's going to be more now because now we got to rip off.
Yeah, you got to tear it all back.
Yeah.
Tear it all.
So
That sucks.
Yeah.
I think we've had that happen a couple times.
We have, yeah, and I won't name any names, but yeah, we have.
yeah,
So,
it's been a few times.
and it's just like there's a reason we're not the cheapest. I mean, and I don't want to be the cheapest.
No,
and I don't want to be the highest. I want to be middle of the road, and I want to provide value, and I want to explain in detail why we go in the attic and take pictures, why we do
Yeah,
this and that,
absolutely.
why we do certain things on roofs that other companies don't do because we believe it's a full package deal, and that's the
Absolutely.
best roofing package you could get. And then why do we have 3 different kinds of shingles that we sell? Why do we have warranties that we can sell? There's just so many things that you have to that's why we call it closing at the kitchen table. You need to sit down with that homeowner and go over so they know what they're buying. Because
Absolutely.
if I'm going to spend 20 grand, I better know where the heck my money's going.
Yeah.
So
It's interesting because I've seen clients on both sides of the fence there.
yeah.
Like some clients do not care.
No, well, those
Like-
are normally the clients that have money that they just don't care about it.
I've seen some clients that are like, hey, I don't give a heck. I don't give a heck. What they don't care about the felt or the ice and water.
They're
They
just
don't
like-
care about the class of the
They
shingle.
just
They're just
want
like,
a
hey.
rough on.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, what color do you want? I don't care. Just put it. I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
whatever
no.
closest to the old one.
Yeah.
Oh no, I make them pick.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
I'm
cannot.
like, you're gonna pick. You're not gonna leave this on my shoulders.
we can't choose
I've,
that.
I've had clients pick and then be upset with whatever they chose before. I've had that happen.
Yeah.
Have you had
Yeah, I've
something
had-
like that happen?
Yeah. Now I'm like, you want a purple roof?
yeah.
I mean, you got to tell me which one you want.
Yep. You need to
So,
pick, and then
makes
we
it different.
got to double confirm that before we do this roof because we've had clients, and I don't know which rep it was, but we've had clients. We sent the shingles out, and then we got them staged, and then the client came out and was like, "Hey, I don't like that color."
Remember
Yeah.
that.
Was that yours?
I don't think it was mine.
Well, so we actually had one that we'd sent out. There was 2 loads on the same truck. One was
Yeah.
for a different client, and the client was like, "Oh, I like these shingles better. Just unload those and put
No.
those on." And we're like, well, that's actually for a different roof on the second delivery of the day.
We ended up switching the shingles.
We did,
out.
yeah.
Yeah,
And the truck went back
remember
got
that.
more.
Wow.
Yeah, ain't that crazy? You stage a whole because there's a lot of planning that goes into staging these roofs and then getting them ready to install.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got a whole army of guys there
Yeah.
waiting to put the roof on.
Yeah.
Truck shows up and the client. I remember that was so funny.
Well, thankfully
I
that
remember
roof
we
was
talked
bigger.
about
and you panic.
than
So
the
as a
one.
company, you kind of panic a little because you're like, wait a second, those shingles are. We have 2 crews going right now, or how many ever.
Yeah.
Multiple crews. Those shingles are for a different crew that's sitting waiting at their job.
Yeah.
And then we got this crew sitting here waiting, and the client coming out and saying, hey.
This
We
ain't
don't
the
want those
shingle I
shingles.
want.
We like the
Yeah.
shingles going to your next client. Can you get those for us?
Yeah.
Thankfully, we have great suppliers, and we're able to
Yeah.
pull that
Makes
off.
a difference.
We pull enough weight, and we have a big enough reputation. We're able to pull something like that off.
Yeah.
But that is a curveball.
Yeah.
That was a crazy
Our
time.
production side is always changing.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's-
it's nuts for sure.
And you reps, you guys got to kind of roll with the punches too.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to
Yeah.
be.
I mean, you might show up and be like, "Wait, guys, you're installing the wrong color." After and you not even know the homeowner changed their
Yeah.
mind. You're like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to be flexible, right?
Yeah.
As a rep, that's something. We go through that every single day. People change their mind.
Yeah.
We
sure.
have a plan together, and then the whole plan changes. So I think you just got to communicate with the client. And just
That's a
keep the
good
line
thing, too,
open.
just communication.
hmm
Just let them know. Keep them informed of what's going on.
Yeah. So roofing sales, do you think that it's just kind of like a short-term thing, almost like a scam? Or would you say that roofing sales can be something you can make a career out of?
Oh, absolutely.
Because that's what my goal as an owner
Yeah.
is I want people to have careers.
Yeah, absolutely.
We
So
have
do
a-
you think that, working in roofing sales, you make a
Oh,
full,
for sure.
we have a good
Sure,
retention rate.
There's
Yeah.
like everybody's gonna people's gonna need a roof all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got storms every year.
Yeah, but you have different. So companies are different. You have companies that storm chase. You have companies that door knock only.
Yeah.
You have companies that pay. And I'll say this. So we talk about money, commissions and things. I follow other companies as well. Obviously we do our own thing, but I see some companies that pay. And you're in the rep shoes, so it's probably hard for you. But do you think that reps can be overpaid at a company? And there's a reason I'm asking this. I'm just curious. Like, do you think I could give you too much money out of a job?
I don't think you would give too much money because I'm sure you're watching the
Well, no, that's what I
profit margins
do. But so I guess where I'm coming from this, I've seen other companies. They're like, oh, we're paying our reps X amount, 15% of the job. I'm like, okay, well, if you pay your rep 15% of the job, what's that leave left for the company?
A lot of that's just off of because my uncle works for a roofing company
Okay.
and he gets paid off of the profit.
Yeah.
Well, 15% of profit's different. I'm talking,
it's
they'll
not
pay
much
like
at all.
15% of gross
Yeah.
or something like that.
Well,
And the problem, and I guess what I'm getting at here is what I see is, some of these companies, they come in, the reps are able to come in for a short period of time, make a bunch of money, and then they cycle out because they're not getting leads from their company. Their company goes out of business because they're not able to upkeep their insurance, the workers' comp audits, these things because they're overpaying their people. So then they got to close up shop, go bankrupt, and then start a new company. So I guess it depends on how you set your company up, but
yeah.
the goal here is to set people up to where they can stay long term,
Right.
build careers,
And that's one
and
thing.
make good money. But I believe, I guess I'm answering the question for you. I believe people can be paid too much because then the company can't sustain it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the company can go out of
that's-
business.
I don't know. I see it a different way too, though. I mean, because like I feel like my cousin does it in Nashville, right?
Yeah.
He works for a roofing company in Nashville. He's also a realtor, so that kind of helps him a lot.
Absolutely.
But like he gets a certain percentage, and then he gets a 50-50 split of the profit. So if they upsell a job
I
because
like
of
that structure. I do like
whatever,
that structure.
and they have a $40,000 profit, he gets 20 grand on top of his certain his
that'd be
5% or
nice.
whatever it is. Yeah. But I look at it from the business side too. Like you have to have money in the account to make the wheel go around. So I see it from both sides, I guess, because I'm in the management side, but I'm also on the
Yeah.
sales side. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, do I think some people can be overpaid? I guess it depends on are they just a slacker in the company that just happens to land some big jobs and they're getting a lot of money, or are they actually like doing work and then they do get a good check? I don't know. It's kind
Yeah.
of a different
it's a-
situation too.
There's
It's probably situational.
there's a fine line there. So it's
Yeah.
like give and take, and then
Yeah.
you have to be very intentional
Yeah.
and careful. So like when you came on, your pay structure was a little different, right?
It wasn't
It
it wasn't what it is now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it
so like they were getting paid honestly significantly less
It was,
whenever they first
yeah,
came on.
yeah.
And throughout the years, you guys have gotten better.
Mhm.
We've gotten better as a company.
Yeah.
And then you've kind of stuck it out, and then the commissions and things have risen as well. And
absolutely.
we, as we get better and as we evolve, the plan is to keep building that out and give you guys more, especially after you've been here for a while, like the commission, like profit splits and things. I think you guys, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
If reps are, and especially if reps are bringing in the leads.
Yeah.
Company provided leads are one thing. We spend all this money on marketing, all this stuff. But if a rep's bringing in the lead, they're babying that lead from start to finish. There should be some reward there.
Yeah.
But on the company side, you have to be careful
Yeah.
because you got to be able to keep the doors open.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's
Yep.
so there's challenges there on kind of both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think.
and I mean, like you said, we're both in like different roofing forums and stuff like that, and so you see all kinds of scenarios out there. And there's people that get a base salary, and then there's people also get commission, and then all this other stuff, or there's people that just get a high percentage, or there's mixtures of ways you can do it. And so we've tried to figure out what's works best for us. I mean, because at the end of the day, that's all you can do. It's like what makes sense to us in our market, how we do things.
Absolutely.
And then does it make everybody else pretty much happy, right?
One-
Nobody's ever going to be 100% happy, but for the majority.
One thing I kind of like is now that we all see what the profit is on.
yeah,
We can all kind of
Yeah.
once it's all done,
Yeah.
we know as a sales rep that there was no profit there. So if we wasn't to get a commission off of a job,
Yeah.
it's clear to see that
Do you think it's important for a company to be transparent with the?
to be honest upfront.
Because some
upfront
people
with-
have told me I'm too transparent, but do you think it's important to be transparent with
it
the
builds that
numbers?
trust. It builds
Yeah.
that trust with the
Yeah.
sales
Well,
rep.
And I can say this: we have some reps in our company that if they know that something went wrong and the company didn't make any money to pay out, they're like, "Hey, don't pay me on that roof. No big deal. It is what it is."
Especially if it was like a
and I think-
sales
Oh,
Like
Yeah.
if sales was directly responsible for the problem.
Not a labor issue, but a sales
I've
issue.
done that a few
But
times.
I think that's them being like that is because of the transparency that we have with
Yeah,
the margins.
absolutely. Makes
And you know, like, hey,
Well, that, and then
this
we
one,
just,
you
that's
know,
more about having the right people, the right
Yes.
type of people morally.
Yep.
Because I feel like, a lot of the, most of the people that work with us, I feel like they want the company to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
Well,
and I
yeah.
think it's
why
important.
wouldn't you when that's giving you
Yeah.
money, supporting your family
Yeah.
all year long?
So do you think that's important as a rep to like buy into the culture, buy into the company, and support the growth and take the hits when you have to?
Oh, absolutely. It's part of it.
No, I'm just kind of saying more and
You
more.
said buy
stuff.
into our culture. I'm like sitting
like,
here,
what-
like
what are we
if
buying
somebody
into?
looked at us from the outside and seen our culture, they'd be like, those guys are goofy.
Yeah, but
If we had GoPro strapped to our head all day, they'd be like, that's what we do.
oh yeah, you can't follow us all day. There's no telling.
No.
But
We
I
have a
think
good
it's just- I'll say like some of the jobs that you've done, and I've seen you budge, and you're like, hey, I get it. Don't worry about it. Don't pay me on this because of whatever. It just goes to show like your character.
Yeah.
And I think that's super important to have people like yourself with that kind of character, those kind of ethics on our team.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for people out there who are thinking about getting into sales, especially roofing sales, what would you say is the most money you made in 1 month here, and what do you think it took to get there? Like, what's the most money you made in a month working as a sales rep in roofing? You would think, or I mean, do you remember like your highest paid month?
I don't remember right off.
I'd say it's pretty good, pretty high.
You tell us, Grant. Where's he been?
I would say upwards of, for sure, over 15K.
I think so.
Yeah,
In 1 month?
yeah. I think it's probably closer to 20K. Yeah.
I listen, I wrote payroll this week, and I saw one individual with about 15K this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say it. Yeah. I mean, well, to be honest with you, we've had 3 reps this year that have had at least 11 to 15K in a week,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Have you had some weeks like that?
I think I've had a couple.
Like looking back,
He's
like,
too humble. Chris is so
Chris
humble.
is very humble. He will
Yeah.
not brag on himself. So
He's
you have to do
like,
it for
hey.
him. But I can tell you this: he's had some really good checks. But if
I
you,
see him.
If you look outside of this job and look at like a normal job, like a normal 8 to 5, and you're making $800 a week or $1,000 probably now with minimum wage going up and stuff, overtime, all this stuff. People are working overtime just to make $1,000 a week, and here and then you think, but this is why people go into sales. And just like you said, most people aren't cut out for sales because it's very cutthroat, and you have to grind, and it's something internally that
especially on
drives
the
you.
front end, because it takes
It takes a minute.
It takes half a year to build a good pipeline.
What do you say?
Takes
Is
a
it?
while.
So you got to hustle for 6 months, making little checks, and all of a sudden, now you're in a position where like every single week you get to see 3,000, 4,000, 2,000, 5,000,
Yeah.
8,000, and like I love.
I can count last month. I think I even brought it up to you guys. Like, guys, Chris has made $6,000 3 weeks in a row.
He's just been killing it.
So there we go. Right there's 18 grand. So I'm gonna say over 20 for sure.
Well, I think the good thing is we've talked about all the stuff.
You know.
The reason why he's able to do that because he's
the pipeline.
You're building friends with people. You're taking care of people. Our margins aren't crazy. We're not overpricing anybody. You're selling a high volume. You're helping a lot of people.
I know we're not overpricing because I get our suppliers on the phone. I do our margin. Hell, we had probably a 2-hour meeting here the other day, figure out jobs. We worked it backwards to see what made sense. Right?
Yeah, because we don't want to. We don't want to just because what we could do is just throw our prices way up just to protect ourselves.
And then if we win a job, we make $5,000. Whatever.
Yeah,
cool.
and we don't want to do
But
that.
we're not
We want
doing
to be
that,
ethical.
Yeah.
We want to make good margins, but we also want to make sure we're pricing, giving everybody the same kind of pricing,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
spreading that out. Used to we just bid by the square, and it's kind of like literally our margins we do in this.
all the time.
Because every job's different.
Yeah. I
And
think
we still have clients that'll ask us, "Hey, what's your per square price?"
Yeah, we quit that 2 years ago.
Yeah, and it's like, well, hey, we can't.
I just
For us to be an ethical company, you can't do a per square price, in my opinion.
no.
Because then you're giving somebody that should be. You could overprice somebody by $1,500 when their
It
roof
makes a
doesn't call
difference
for
when
that.
the roof's cut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much more material?
And I
Those
think
people have to pay more,
Yeah,
and then the
absolutely.
people that have easy roofs, they should pay less. I mean, that's just
I think as a person too, like if you were to overprice somebody and get the job and then it goes through and you're just sitting there going, man, did I do the right thing? Like, yes, it's nice that I'm going to get a good check, but like, is that morally right to take advantage of somebody like that? Because I think that just comes back to the human, who are you as a human,
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think you deserve a check and you deserve your hard work and being paid for, but you don't need to,
There was
overdo
one
it.
customer, talking about that. There was one customer that overpaid like $1,500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know we did. We mailed them the check back.
Oh, yeah.
Once we realized it.
Yeah. We did. Actually, we did.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we very easily could have just
Yeah.
just slipped
Most
it
companies
under.
wouldn't do
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Most companies are like, well, there's an extra $1,500 in my pocket, but we're like, wow, that's not right.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about our company. Like we try to be good humans. Now, are we perfect? No. Do we make mistakes on the roof?
Absolutely.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
But one thing is we try to make it right. And I mean, I know some people, may be like, yeah, right. Sure you do. But no, like seriously, we don't mean to ever mess up. Nobody ever wants to mess up. So,
Let's talk partnerships for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I know, I think that's important for people in the sales industry.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have a partner in the company.
Yeah.
I have my own difficulties as an owner.
Yeah.
But let's talk that because you had a partner at one point,
Mhm.
and I just want to see what that experience was like, for you.
there's a couple of people in our company had it, and then
Yeah.
they've all split since then. So what was it like?
I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say anything bad about it.
I'll just go here. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really.
So like
It was good at times because one of us could talk to the customer while the other one was doing the work.
Yeah.
And that made a big difference too. That kind of helped.
do you feel like that was like one person was doing more work than the other at that point because the other person's just sitting there talking, or is it equally as because you still have to
You
talk
still-
with the
you gotta
customer?
win those people over.
Yeah.
You got to win those people over.
Yeah.
And so, no, I'd say it's
Yeah.
pretty fair.
I can see because we went together sometimes, and I think it definitely
I think it helps.
it does help.
It does. When you got
Because
someone else there with you.
Mhm.
yeah, one person could be
difference.
building that rapport,
Yeah.
which helps the company, and then the other person can do the measuring and the pictures.
Yeah, we go close all Israel's big jobs for him.
Yeah, we do. And Chris's, all the big jobs.
Yeah, all the
we
big
gotta
jobs.
go-
You just send those two.
We got to go close them.
Game
for you
over.
guys.
On that, we'd be driving to the next customer when we'd be back to back to back with jobs.
Yeah.
I'd be driving and
He'd be
over working it up.
Yep.
By the time we got to the next roof, he'd have the estimate ready.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
it did.
That is
I s-
nice.
So I can definitely see, but the thing is, you're my sales manager, and I'm,
Yeah.
as the owner. So it's like we're not really competing with each other.
No.
And it's like we're just.
Yeah.
It doesn't really affect us to go out and do a job together. But as reps, you guys have commissions that have to get split.
Right.
So it's a little.
So
it's
you almost have to sell double to make it make sense.
Yeah, so it's a little different. So, and I would say, you're chasing commissions and mindsets can be different,
Mhm.
and the way you behave and how you want to handle jobs, like that could be, people have different
Yeah.
things that they align with and different things that they feel that is important.
Yeah.
So, and I struggle with, not struggle, but I've had those hurdles, just having partnerships in business,
Right.
so I've,
Yeah.
it can be a challenge,
Oh, yeah, for sure, definitely.
Well,
It can be
when-
at times.
When was the point in your guys' partnership that you realized maybe this isn't the best, or maybe this isn't going to work out anymore for whatever reason,
Honesty,
or did it just kind of happen on its own,
it just kind of happened.
just faded out?
Yeah, it just.
I mean, I feel like that kind of happened.
I think at the time I was running my bread route.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I was. I know it was.
Yeah.
Between that and then also do a little landscaping.
Yeah. I was gonna say you forgot to mention that earlier. He leaves the bread and
Yeah.
butter out,
And so yeah, I just wasn't working out.
Yeah, and sometimes it doesn't. We had another couple that was in our or not couple, but another partnership in our company.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we'll call those two a couple.
Special couple. That was a special.
That was a
Special couple.
Yeah.
It's special.
But yeah, I mean, and since then though, it's worked out for the better. I think.
Yeah, I think
Honestly,
so.
I mean, everybody seems to be doing really well on their own.
Yeah.
Yes, there's some benefits to being in a partnership, but I think on their own, everybody's still killing it. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I've always liked when reps go, not necessarily partner on one job, but maybe just like kind of be in the same neighborhood together. Like,
Yeah.
especially if you're like canvassing or something.
oh yeah,
Go together and
Yeah.
build some rapport. But I think there's challenges there whenever you're trying to share jobs.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I kind of let
Well,
you guys. I
yeah.
let you,
That was a
yourself,
headache
and
splitting
I
it
let
up.
the other partnership happen. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to leave this to you guys.
Yeah.
But obviously, if it gets too messy, it's like we can't.
Well, there was one. If a job's messed up,
Yeah.
something goes wrong, it's my fault.
Yeah.
It's my fault. It's
Yeah.
no one else's. I can't do the blame game.
Yeah, then we had to go
Yeah.
back when it was a partnership. Oh, whose truck was in the driveway? Like, okay, whose rep's hands are these in the picture? Like,
Yeah.
it was like, to see actually who was on the roof doing the stuff.
So you think solo accountability is easier?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's easier to be accountable if you're flying solo.
Yeah, I think we're running out of time.
Visual's telling us to wrap it
I
up.
know.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Okay. So do we just need to skip to the end, or can we go ahead and talk about one more section here?
We're pretty much there.
One more section? Okay, which one do you want to do? What's this one?
I guess let's talk about, I want to talk about mindset a little bit. Because I think in sales and in life in general, mindset's kind of everything.
Yeah.
So
So walk us
Go ahead.
through,
Go
you know, how you approach a deal, Chris, from knocking the door to closing it. When you're walking up to that door, what are you thinking, or is it just like now it's just like a normal thing? But like, what's your mindset going into that? Because I mean, I'll let you answer, but I would assume you probably already think you have it in the bag before you knock.
A lot of times, I mean, you know, I walk up to a roof and
Confident.
I'm obviously checking out every roof I go through in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing I notice. You know, when I walk up, I'm checking out the roof. I like to think I got it in the bag already.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I think working for our company, like walking up to that roof, I'm always like, all right, I'm already going to sell this because I know that we're going to have the best quality
absolutely.
and services and we're going to outperform. And so for me, it's like, heck, all I got to do is like, you know, just be me, talk to them,
Yep.
let them know what we can give them. And like, it's going to happen.
yeah, make
And, you
make
know,
your friend.
Yeah.
Let them know that you can help them.
Yeah.
And then I always speak in future tense.
Yeah.
It's like when we do the roof,
yeah,
Kind of a sales
yeah,
tactic
when we
there.
come out, we're going to do this. When
what color you want?
when
Yeah.
we clean up, we're going to do this. What color are you thinking?
Yeah.
So I think it's important to act like,
Yeah.
even though they haven't given you a yes yet, you're like in
assume,
your head,
assume the sale.
I have the sell.
Yeah.
So then you just walk them through that. Like, here's what we're going to, and you build expectations. And I think you build more rapport that way.
Well, and I heard a term a long time ago, in 2015 when I started sales, always be closing.
Yeah.
So like you're always trying to, like, as your conversation's going, just like he said, when we come back to do this, like you're closing, you're putting it in their head that they're going to try and you're already going to go with us,
Yeah.
basically.
I think that's
You know,
part of the
so-
close before you even get to the point of asking for the money,
Yep.
or the sale. You know, you're already telling them, I have the sale.
Yeah.
Like subconsciously, you're planting the seed all the way through. Like, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. This is how we handle this. This is how I handle your deposit. This is how we take your final payment. That kind of stuff before you even ask. And then I think it's important to ask for the money.
Mhm.
Like, so don't be pushy, but
Yeah.
don't be afraid to ask for the sale. Because sometimes people let you walk out the door.
That was a big crossroads for me.
And I know you struggle with that a
Yeah.
little bit because I've
Yeah.
told you sometimes because you have the skill set and you have the confidence and you have the knowledge. And it's like sometimes you just got to ask for the
it.
sale.
Just
Yeah.
do it.
Like, don't be afraid to
money.
just say, hey,
I mean, what's the worst they're going to
give me
say?
the
It's
money.
already a no right now. So if you don't ask, it's still going to stay a no. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, you know,
And especially the people that called us out because it's like, you know, if you called us out here, you're obviously wanting our help. You need help.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to say, hey, we can help you. Here's what it's going to cost. You know, be transparent. Here's the money. Here's what it costs. You know, here's the services I provide.
You know, watching James through that, watching him kind of
Yeah.
helped me too.
he's pretty good at that.
He would ask,
Yeah.
you know, well, could you pay half today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
That's
10 grand right now?
yeah.
And, you know, that always kind of,
So on that note, or well, yeah.
Yeah. So do you have like a line you use, like a close, do you have like some type of method? Like, you know, I know we don't really go scripted here,
Mm-mm.
because we're not really that type of company. But do you have like something that you say to kind of lean into the ask, or do you just is it different every time?
that's different every time, you know.
I always like
A lot of time I bring up the scheduling.
Yeah, that's what I was
you
gonna
know,
say.
I bring up the schedule and I'm like, as soon as you get the half down, we'll get you on schedule and
Yeah.
get you planned out.
Because I think that puts it in their mind. They're like, well, if I need to get
As
this
soon
done,
as
I
I get
better
that
go ahead and
done,
pay half, you know, just to get
Yeah.
on schedule.
I'm that much closer to get my roof done.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's,
Well, yeah,
that's
because
a great way to do
when
it.
clients, because I feel like sometimes clients wait. You know, they'll notice they know that they need to get a roof replaced, but then they wait until the last second to call us, and then when they get out there, they're like, "Oh, we need this done tomorrow." And,
Yeah, I know. That's,
you know, sometimes you got to set expectations early on to create more urgency. To say, hey, you know, we are 5 weeks out, or 6 weeks out, or 2 months out, or you know, whatever it is. So we got to get some money, get planning, we can get your materials ordered, all that kind of stuff. And that way, it'll build a little urgency to get the process flowing.
Yeah.
So I think that's super important.
and I don't think I've told y'all this, but a lot of times when people don't have the money right then, but I know they're getting it like insurance or something,
Mhm.
I'm like, write me a check, I'll get you on the schedule.
Yeah.
And it helps, you know,
Yeah.
build that, you know, confidence with them. Well,
I mean, we hold people's checks a lot for them. You know, if they write a check
Yeah.
and they know they're waiting
Yeah.
on the money deposit, like, hey, we've got the check. Just let us know when we can deposit it.
yeah,
You know,
I've done that quite a bit.
So
That check's non-refundable.
yeah,
You give us that check, you'll never see it again.
Yeah.
No, we've written checks back a bunch of times. You know, we don't keep people. You know, if you have a client that backs out of a deal, you know, we don't. Even if they sign the contract,
Remember
we're
that-
going to give them their money
remember that one
back.
that was like 40,000?
It hurts. It stings.
That was wild.
I'm not saying it doesn't sting, you know, but if you have a
That
client,
came back around though, didn't it?
It did.
yeah. Well, so that's the thing. If you would have like made a big deal out of it and said,
Yeah.
"Hey, I don't want to give you this 45," I
Absolutely.
think it was like 40 something, but
Yeah.
we don't want to give you this 40 grand back. You know, you already signed a contract. You probably would have never got that deal in the long run because that client circled back and ended up using us. So.
Yeah. So we all know sales is stressful. You know, it's taxing mentally and physically. What's something that you would say helps you clear your head at the end of each day?
I'd say my family, my kids.
Yeah.
I try to spend as much time with them as I can, but a lot of times I catch myself working.
Yeah.
I think
Wait.
that's all.
You
of
bring your
us.
kiddos with you sometimes, right?
Yeah, I got Lucas with me today.
Yeah.
Shout out Lucas.
Yeah, that's my door knocker right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
We go out on the boat a lot. You know, Sundays we go to church. That's
Mhm.
always a restart.
Yeah.
Yeah, spending much time with kids is. Yeah, we hunt.
Yeah.
Lucas likes to hunt. He's done killed one this year.
Yeah.
Um,
He's a deer slayer for
yeah,
sure.
he is. That's about it. You know, just you don't lose track of what you're really doing it for.
Yeah.
You don't lose track of what.
You hear a lot of people say that. A lot
Yeah,
of,
we've had discussions like
Yeah.
that a bunch. 'Cause, you know, most of the people and especially entrepreneurs were like, "Oh, it's hustle culture, right?"
Yeah.
We're all hustling. We're all, you know, chasing the next thing,
Yeah.
chasing the money, and the money's important because we do have
is.
families to take care of.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you look back and 10 years have passed and you haven't spent time,
Mhm.
you know, those kids are growing.
Absolutely.
It freaks me out,
You can't
honestly.
get those moments back.
Yeah.
No.
When I get around my kids, I'm like, it freaks me out sometimes
We-
because like they grow so fast.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss all those moments. Those important.
We actually, on the company side, we decided to, you know, because we were working late hours. I mean, we'd be up approving bids in the evenings till 10, 11, 12. I think this year when we had the tornadoes, I was up till 1:30 approving estimates a.m. And we finally had a meeting in the office because it was all of us. It wasn't just us. It was like all of our wives were like, "Are you going to quit working and like hang out or do whatever?" You know. And so I think we set a cutoff time like 7:30 p.m. Just shut the phone off, spend time with your family and kids. Because if not, you know, by 8 o'clock they're probably getting ready for bed and school the next morning and
Exactly.
all
You done
stuff.
missed
So
it.
yeah, so you miss supper, you know.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people just, especially entrepreneurs, they just don't know when to shut it off.
Yeah.
I don't. I lay there at night and my mind just spins.
That's been
Spin,
my
spin,
biggest,
spin,
my
spin,
biggest
spin.
struggle.
You know,
I think it's something we all struggle with.
Yeah.
And now it's hard because there's two sides of that. I think if you're like pre-family, if you don't have kids and stuff yet,
you're probably good to just work
Get it.
as long
Go.
much as
I
you
think
can.
you should be, you know, and it's different for everyone, but I think you should be hustling.
Shout out
I
Israel.
mean, I mean, you should be 7 days a week. You should have as much fun as you can, but
Yeah.
work as hard as you can
Yeah.
Absolutely.
without a lot of dead time.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're spending time, and I'm guilty of it, scrolling or just watching TV, and you don't have a family or anything like that, you should be. I mean, those are your time to hustle.
Absolutely.
When the family comes around, you want to be a good role model. I feel like for your kids, so you want to show them what hard work is like, and what work ethic is like, and how to make it. But you also want to spend time with them. And it looks like you do that with your, you know, you're doing both at
Yeah.
the same time.
Yeah,
You're bringing
you-
your kids along to work, so you get that quality time, and you get to, you know, show them what hard work is like, and then how to make it, you know, a living.
I'd say you're good at time management. for
Yeah.
sure.
Try to be.
Yeah.
That's important.
It's a
I
very
think-
hard thing.
So would you say that's super important? Time
Oh,
time
absolutely.
management. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's probably one of the most
Yeah.
you know important things of it all is managing all that time.
Yeah.
So the message here is not telling everybody to, hey, just go out on the lake and relax all the time.
No.
You got to be able to do both.
You can be that roofing salesman that's on the wakeboard with the taking a phone call.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Hey,
all over TikTok.
Listen, he's the one that gave me the mop off, make a friend, help a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like so laid back, and he's like
Yeah.
doing all these conference calls and phone calls.
Yeah.
And it's
He's literally wakeboarding. Hey Judy, how's the roof coming?
no, what is it? What does he always say, Deborah?
Yeah.
Miss Deborah. He changes his whole accent.
Yeah.
We don't do that kind of sales, but it is fun. It's entertaining to watch.
Yeah, it's what I will say. What's funny is like when you hear like we're all just talking here at the table out here, and all of a sudden Isaac, especially, he picks up the phone. Hey, how are you? You know, he puts on a sales voice. You know, it's just like wow. It's like
We need to start recording
It's like a
those.
light switch.
That's funny.
Chris, where do you see yourself in the next year or two? What's your goals? What you got going?
Hopefully still here at Daniel's Roofing.
Yeah.
Still number one.
Hey, they're fighting. They're fighting for that number one spot.
Yeah, I think right now it's pretty close.
It is.
Oh yeah, every year it's kind of close, and you guys are just.
Yeah. Obviously, I want to go further than I did this year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're all just gonna have to
Just
put our
keep
heads
going.
together and see what kind of tactics we can come up with to
Yeah.
increase increase leads. That's what it is. It all comes down to leads. That's what it is. So,
What's one thing you can say that you're the most proud of that you've accomplished so far while you've been here?
As far as like work wise or
just in general.
Anything.
Yeah.
I think the financial relief.
Yeah.
Because that was a big struggle. That I mean, obviously, you know, that can put a strain on
Oh yeah.
your marriage.
Yeah.
Just everything all around.
I think a lot of pressure. People and like men in general have just so much pressure. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying the women don't work or nothing like that, but it's a lot because as a man you feel like you're the provider, right?
Right.
And so like when you're at rock bottom, you know, I think we've all been there once or twice. So it's just like, how do I get out of this? Yeah. I have a wife and kid I got to provide for, and it's like I'm willing to do anything really. You know, at that point I'm going to work as much as I can. So yeah. What keeps you hungry even after you've had some success? Like what keeps you going?
Knowing where I was.
Yeah.
Knowing where I was.
Humble.
Where I came from.
Yeah. Never forget who you are and why you started, and you know,
sometimes
your why in life. You know?
I think it's super important to look back.
Yeah.
Because I catch myself doing that. Throughout the years, every year we've done better and better and better and better. And because we've talked about like being born with it or coming from nothing.
Yeah.
And I believe that coming from nothing gives you a major, which I don't even know if you came from nothing, but obviously you were having some struggles financially and things like that. You weren't just handed a bunch of money.
No.
Yeah. And I think that gives you an edge on other people
absolutely.
because it keeps you hungry. Because if you don't have to want for anything, you're just like, it's easy to take the foot off the gas.
Yeah.
But when you know what it's like to not have the money, to not have the success, it keeps you going.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think so. It's super important. Well, I think that kind of wraps it all up. Obviously you're one of our top guys here at Daniels Roofing, and it's been a pleasure, having you. Unfortunately, today's your last day. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. No, but I appreciate you coming on. I know this is, doing podcast stuff's a little out of your comfort zone, which it is mine as well. It definitely breaks. But I think that's what, growth is about, breaking that comfort, putting yourself out there. And I've seen you do that through the roofing space. And obviously, I know you've told me a couple of times, you're like, hey, this has changed my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it has changed all of ours. This industry has.
I mean, how many of us bought new homes or building new homes this year? I think all of us, for the most part. Israel's on the cuff there. He's about to.
Is he?
Hopefully, yeah. So, but I mean, like Zane, me, you, James, Simfer. I mean, like Anthony, like Diana. Like literally, almost everybody in our company has bought a home, added on to their home, or built a home. Like it's just like holy crap.
Yeah, it's a crazy industry we're in. It's we're all super blessed, I think, and it's just been it's been a
huge blessing.
It's been a blessing, but obviously we have to nurture it and keep working hard.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But anyways, I want to thank you for coming on, Chris. I know you got to get out and
get some sales.
Do some moth-hoffing today. Help some people out, and I want to thank everybody at home. Obviously for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe. Look out for the next episode of Roof Talk. Grant, who do we have coming on next week?
Nick Reynolds from
there you go.
Fortify. Used to be known as Reed's Metal, now it's Fortify Metals.
And I think they're changing.
And I think they're getting bought out again. So, but Nick Reynolds, he's the general manager there.
Great guy, nice guy, Nick.
Well, yeah, he's great.
We do a lot of stuff, a lot of community projects with Nick, and they're a
veteran. He's a veteran.
Yeah, veteran-owned company, and they do metal products, and they do a lot of other stuff too. So. Tune in next week, guys, and check that out. And we will see you on the next one.
Thanks, guys.